Enable the Turnitin integration on your Dropbox folders to monitor submissions, compare them to an online database of original content, and grade and annotate the submissions. This tutorial shows how to create a Dropbox folder, enable the Turnitin integration, and configure the Originality Check and GradeMark functionalities. To begin, from the Dropbox tool, click New Folder. In the folder properties, give the folder a name. Associate the Dropbox folder with a grade item if you want submissions tied to an item in your gradebook. For this example, we will select the Written Assignments grade item. Enter a value in the Out Of field for the assignment score. Note, if you associate the Dropbox folder with a grade item, maintain consistency for your learners by matching the value of the Out Of field to the grade item's max points value. Further customize the Dropbox folder by adding instructions for your learners. Then, navigate to the Restrictions tab. Click Has Start Date to customize the day and time the folder will become available to learners. Click Has Due Date to customize the day and time the assignment is due. And click Has End Date to customize the day and time the folder will become unavailable to learners. Then, click the Turnitin tab. Click Enable Turnitin for this folder. Once Turnitin is enabled, you can set up more options and configure the Originality Check and GradeMark functionalities. For this example, we will first add more options. Click More Options in Turnitin. Fields that are not editable reflect the settings from your Dropbox folder. Allow submissions of any file type lets you determine whether the file type for submissions is restricted. Expand the optional settings. To configure settings for late submissions, comparison sources, originality report, and more. When you are finished configuring the options, click Submit to update the Turnitin settings. Next, we will set up Originality Check. You can determine whether learners can view Turnitin similarity scores and whether the system checks all submissions or those you identify for originality. Click Allow learners to see Turnitin similarity scores in their Dropbox folder so both you and learners can see the similarity scores for the assignment. Finally, we will set the availability of GradeMark. You can use the GradeMark functionality to add comments, insert inline text, and highlight sections in file submissions directly from the Dropbox tool. By setting the availability date and time, you determine when your feedback will be made available to learners. When you are done setting up the Turnitin integration and the Originality Check and GradeMark functionalities, click Save and Close. Enable the Turnitin integration on your Dropbox folders to monitor submissions, compare them to an online database of original content, and grade and annotate the submissions.